too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent.
Hey folks, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? I've got awesome news because DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. Owner Nick Delancey and his family, hey, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're excited to help out a veteran or family in need. Just go to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or, hey, someone you know to receive one. And yes, it comes with installation. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org, click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
The Go Country Pro Rodeo is back at the Go Country Fairgrounds in Auburn, May 15th through 17th. Professional bull and bronc riding, racing, and roping by the top cowboys and girls. Get tickets now at GoCountryProRodeo.com. Sponsored by Auburn Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Black Bear Diner, Green Acres at Isley's, GM Environmental, Foothills Motel, and Tito's Vodka. Get your tickets now at GoCountryProRodeo.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown.
And welcome in
Grant Napear.
How you been?
You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a fabulous weekend. It is official. The Sacramento Kings lose the tiebreaker with the Utah Jazz. They are now 5th in the odds for the lottery. It does not affect the odds for the first, second, third, or fourth pick. However, if the Kings do not end up with one of the top 4 picks, in all likelihood, they will draft 6th or 7th with a possibility at 8. So the Jazz and the Kings have the same odds through the first 4 picks. 11.5%, 11.4, 11.2, 11.0. But then this is when things really change. The 5th overall pick, a 2% chance, an 18.2% at 6, and a 25.5% chance at 7th, and an 8.5% chance at 8th, and only a 0.6 chance at 9. So, again, if you don't end up first, second, third, or fourth, in all likelihood, you're going to be drafting 6 or 7. We're going to find out for sure in just a couple of weeks on May 10th. Not where you want to be if you don't get lucky and get one of those top 4 picks, because then after a miserable season where you had the worst record in the NBA for almost the entire season or a good part of it, you win games down the stretch, and now your greatest odds now, all right, your best odds now are finishing 6th or 7th. By the way, Utah, they have a 27% chance of ending up with the 6th pick and a 17.9% chance of the 8th pick. All right, there you have it. Always like to start off the show with good news. Oh, my gosh. Oh, NBA tonight. Raptors, Cavaliers, Hawks, Knicks, Timberwolves, and the Nuggets. Of course, the big news over the weekend, the Lakers without Kevin Durant playing. And we understand he'll be a game-time decision for tomorrow. But, you know, when you look at the Lakers, that was some game. Luke Kennard, we know about his game, but LeBron James. You know what? I don't care whether you like LeBron or not, and I'm talking about, like, there's such a debate about him as a basketball player, and I've never quite understood that. I mean, I'm not a fan of LeBron James, the person, because I think he's extremely one-sided and careless on social media. I think that a lot of his stuff that he's put on social media is, quite frankly, disturbing, short-sighted, and has turned me off to him as the individual off the court. But on the court, the guy's unbelievable. And what he's doing at his age, he's a marvel. He really is. An absolute, incredible marvel. And whether you have him as the best team or the best player in the history of the basketball or the second best player in the history of basketball or the third or the fourth, whatever the case may be, you cannot have the conversation of greatest player of all time and not have LeBron in the conversation. Can't do it. Just can't. So you can put him wherever you want, but he's in the conversation. And to see him play at this level, at this age, is remarkable. So the Lakers, you know, listen, if Kevin Durant does not play or plays and is ineffective, that does it's kind of an equalizer in a way. I still give the edge to Houston without Luka and without Reeves. But, the injury that he suffered in practice, I think it was on Wednesday, that came out of nowhere. And the Rockets already down 1-0 in that series. All right, hockey, the Stanley Cup playoffs over the weekend. Just amazing games. Buffalo was down 2-0 with 8 minutes left. They score 4 goals in 6 minutes, and they win 4-3. A lot of other tremendous games that went to overtime. I love it. I watched a lot of hockey this weekend, and I'll be watching a lot of hockey again beginning tonight. Really fun. I enjoy that. All right, Major League Baseball. The A's in Seattle to open up a set. It's amazing when you look at the American League, and when I say amazing, I say it in this sense. You don't really have any runaway teams through the first, 25 games, 23 games, 22 games, whatever the case may be. You've got a lot of teams like Texas, like the A's, that are 500 at 11-11. You look at that division, Texas and the Athletics, 11-11. The Angels are 11-12, and tonight's opponent, Seattle, really off to a bad start at 10-13. The Astros in last place at 8-15. Even the Yankees are only 13-9. Cleveland only 13-10. Now in the National League, you want to talk about it not being early anymore, or you want to talk about it being early, or you want to come up with anything to make you feel better if you're a fan of the Giants? I'm going to tell you this right now. I know it's the 20th of April, and I understand the fact that the season ends at the end of September. But if the Giants have a bad 3-game set beginning tomorrow at home against the Dodgers, they will be too far down in the basement to even think about getting to that point. They're already, 7 games back in the loss column. They better not get swept at home against the Dodgers, who, by the way, have lost 2 in a row. Diaz is on the injured list. And they're 15-6, though. Again, they've lost 2 in a row. You got to figure the Dodgers probably aren't going to lose 3 in a row. The Giants, meanwhile, pretty good road trip based on everything. 9-13. When I mean a pretty good road trip, I mean it looked like a disaster early and they recovered somewhat, coming off a loss. But again, if you lose, if you get swept at home, you will not recover from that. I'm sorry. They're not good enough. And not only are the Dodgers 15-6, the Padres are 15-7 already. So keep that in mind. Now, it could be worse. You could be a fan of the Mets, who have lost 11 in a row and are already 8 games behind Atlanta. What a disaster the Mets are at 7-15. And not only is it tough for the Mets, but they're always in the shadow of the Yankees. Always have been, always will be. And, when you have Aaron Judge hitting home runs left and right and straightaway center as a leadoff man, or, coming up early in the first, whatever the case may be, and you have them in first and the Mets in last, it makes it even worse if you're a fan of the Mets. Because in New York, all the attention is Yankees, Yankees, Yankees. And, yeah, the tabloids will rip you to shreds, but then no one even cares. And when I mean nobody even cares, I mean, it's a really lonely place to be a Mets fan when you're bad and the Yankees are good. And that is the case early on in this season in New York. All right, NFL draft. You ready? Fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Round 1 on Thursday. Good news for the 49ers. Their left tackle, Trent Williams, and the Niners come to a 2-year extension. So that is done. You have the Giants over the weekend making a bold move with Dexter Lawrence, their all-pro defensive tackle. Sexy Dexy is now a Bengal, and the Giants get the 10th overall pick to go with the 5th pick. And this draft right now, with 72 hours remaining, early on is going to circle around running back Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. Most scouts, a lot of scouts, feel that Love is the best prospect in this draft. Will he go 3 to Arizona? Would he then go to Tennessee if he's available at 4? Would the Giants now, with 2 picks in the top 10, maybe change their thinking a little bit? And instead of going defense at number 5, go Love at number 5. And then at number 10, take your best defensive player on the board or go wide receiver to go alongside Malik Neighbors, assuming that he is healthy. Odell Beckham Jr. had a workout and a physical today, and I'm, as a Giants fan, going, no, please, no. But Jeremiah Love, I think, is the most intriguing part of the draft on Thursday in the first hour. I think that is going to be, he's going to be the player that you're going to keep your eye on. I don't think he'll fall below 7, because I think if he's on the board at 7, Washington will take him. Maybe Dallas would take him at 6 if they don't make that deal that I've been hearing about with Cleveland. And then what about Philadelphia? Adam Schefter of ESPN reporting that he's going to be traded to New England right around June 1st when bonuses kick in, which would affect the salary cap and this and that. That does he ever seem happy to you when you watch A.J. Brown? I mean, not last season, but the season before, the guy wins the Super Bowl, right? And you would think, okay, everything's hunky-dory in Philly. And all you hear from him is the moping, the complaining, disgruntled, blows off the media after the playoff loss this year. It's amazing how some players never, ever appear to be happy. And that, to me, is the case with A.J. Brown. Now, could he go to a new franchise and be different in terms of that? Yes. All right? But you better make sure you throw him the football, Drake May, or you're going to have a guy that's going to be complaining and storming up and down the sideline and having an attitude. Okay? Not good. But he is unbelievably talented, and that's why we keep talking about him. All right, give me a call. Give me a text message, 916-779-0929. I need an early update from my wingman, Ryan in Sacktown. Rhino? All right, so here we have opening segment, Monday, homework assignment. Finish watching Cool Hand Luke. Yes or no?
Spends the night in the box.
Oh my
Sometimes
gosh.
nothing can be a real cool hand.
Move, sit in here next to my boy. Here, Luke.
It's in the books. It's done. I watched it. It was good.
You enjoy it?
I actually really did enjoy it. It went a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go. I thought the big guy who is kind of the leader in the prison was going to be the antagonist, but him and Luke kind of get on the same page.
Yeah.
The 50 eggs, hilarious.
Yep.
You know, the ending, bittersweet, right? That smile that Luke had all movie, but yeah, definitely the failure to, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Now I got that.
What we have here, Luke, is a failure to communicate.
And let me tell you one other thing. Honestly,
Spends the night in the box.
is it a bad thing? because it's always hot in that bunk area where they're sleeping.
Yeah.
You get some nice fresh air coming into the box. If you can get comfortable in there, I wouldn't be mad at it. I didn't like
Only if you have the Delta breeze kicking up.
exactly. Right? I didn't like how when Luke's mother passed away, they sent him to the box. That kind of changed everything in the movie.
Yeah.
But yes,
all right. So we got a message on our chat line on YouTube. Shawshank Redemption next, Rhino. I agree. That's got to be next.
All right. Is that the consensus? Let us know. If that's the consensus, then that's what we'll move on to.
What we have here, Luke, is a failure to communicate.
I mean, it's just there's parts of it that were brutal. It was really funny when the guy paid to get the broom, and then he goes up to the guard, and he can't get it. Okay, so here, I guess this is my question for you, since you guys watched this in school and wrote papers. What was the what were you trying, or what were they trying to communicate in that movie? What was the overall theme that you take from it?
That's a great question. That homework assignment was 52 or 53 years ago, so keep that in mind. And I would not be able to tell you right now what I wrote on in terms of what I believe the message was. So, I mean, I think you can take several things from there. First and foremost, the message that comes to my mind is I'm never breaking the law. Don't put me on a chain gang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious.
Man.
Like, right? Like, that's the real world, by the way. That happened. Okay. That's not like make believe. All right. And when I mean, I'm not saying that actually the scenes in the movie happened, but I'm saying that type of labor for prisoners, that was very much a real thing.
Brutal. I mean, and then the lunch that they serve them out in the fields. Ugh. I mean, it was funny though. He goes, what did he say? He was chopping off the top of gumball machines or something.
Yeah.
It was actually
How about
parking
that,
meters.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I actually did not see that coming at the end. Like I thought, all right, Luke's going back, but a lot of good stuff we can talk about as the show goes along.
Good. All right, so we'll give you a little time because I know you're busy and you got the playoffs and you do have a family. But Shawshank Redemption's next, okay?
All right.
And I think I want to tell you this. I will predict when you start watching that, you won't watch it in different parts. You'll just watch it from start to finish.
Okay. Perfect.
That's my prediction.
All right.
Passport
to it. We are at the same status. Have not gone back to Ileton yet.
Okay.
But we'll be.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, buddy.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. Hey, I want to tell you about Village Financial Group, and we are already in the 4th month, and we're going to have summer coming up, and people might be on the move. Maybe you are relocating, maybe a job transfer, maybe you're looking to move up, move down, whatever the case may be. Your real estate needs, Spence Village Financial Group, broker owner of this family-owned local business since 2000. And consider just, I guess, when you think about Village Financial Group, kind of like a white glove boutique shop experience where Spence will take you from the start line to the finish line at Village Financial Group. Call or text Spence. All right. He's fine if you want to text him. 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. And let Spence be the man for you. Very experienced. Remember, he's a very creative financing specialist, and he has access to private money. You can also check out everything on their website at vfgloans.com. You can also look at thousands of available listings for purchase. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Could it be that the feud of 2012 between two of our most well-known former athletes is coming to an end? I'll talk about that next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
building friendships, and bonding with family. It's what people experience during a day out at Golden State Shooting Center, only moments outside of Sacramento. Golden State Shooting Center is a favorite for those who love the sport of trap, skeet, and sporting clay target shooting. It's also where the California Youth Sport Shooting Association trains and competes. New teams are being formed, and if you've got a son or daughter in high school, they can compete for college scholarships. Learn more at goldenstateshootingcenter.com or call 916-539-8544.
Spring is here, so check your tires. When your vehicle needs the best, get Firestone Firehawks. They are built on years of racing heritage and are designed with the latest in tire technology. This month, save $100 on a set of 4 Firestone Firehawks. They provide the confidence and comfort you've come to expect from Firestone. Race into Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue, and find the set that's right for you. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Get them at Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Congratulations to Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, just released by the NBA. He is the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and he becomes, all right, the youngest Defensive Player of the Year, all right, ever at 22 years old. I think this is just going to be the first of many, many, many awards for Wembanyama. Assuming that he stays healthy, he's going to have multiple MVPs. He's going to have multiple MVPs in the finals. He is going to have a large room that will have to be built wherever he lives for all of his trophies and hardware and everything else. He is going to rewrite a lot of things in the NBA because we have never seen a player quite like Victor Wembanyama. So he is the Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations to him.
First player ever to guard the basket from the three-point line.
Now, think about that for a minute. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He legitimately guards the basket from the three-point line.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah. So good stuff. You're right, though. He's going to need a separate wing for all that hardware.
Yes, he is. So let me take you back to 2012. In 2012, Charles Barkley went on a Chicago sports talk show and criticized the then owner of the Charlotte Bobcats, Michael Jordan. Among other things, he said that his failure as an owner was that he surrounded himself with too many yes men. Okay? He said that after that, there was a very hostile phone call from Jordan. Then they went silent. Okay? They didn't have any conversation. They were best friends. Barkley was very open about it, said that Michael went ballistic over the phones, cursed him out, and said that their friendship was over because of the criticism. Now, we're talking about guys that were best friends. We're not talking about casual acquaintances. We're talking about guys that considered themselves best friends. Well, over the weekend, Barkley announced that they had talked and that they are going to play golf at the end of the basketball season and will get together for the first time in well over a decade. When I had Charles Barkley on this show back in September, we talked about this very topic.
I think the first thing is he would have to say, hey, you know what? You were doing your job and I overreacted and I was wrong. And I was like, it's good, man. That's all I ever wanted to hear. Because, Grant, my thing is I can't do my job. See, one of the reasons I don't like reporters, to be honest with you, some of them, not all of them, some of them are great friends of mine. I don't think you can have a double standard. You can actually watch guys on television and tell the guys they don't like. Well, and I said, well, wait a minute. The same guy did the exact same thing and you gave him a pass. See, I think that goes back to what I was telling you. You can't have favorites or guys you like or guys you dislike and go overboard. I said, and listen, what I said about Michael, I said, I don't think Michael's ever going to be successful as a general manager because he only has yes men around him. And he got all bent out of shape. And number one, I think I was 100% correct. And he did not do a good job when he was running a franchise. I didn't think it was that much of a hot take. But I can't get on television or radio with you or anybody and say, hey, I don't think that guy's doing a good job. And then say at the time, the guy who's my best friend is doing a great job. Because I always tell guys, I'm not talking to Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq. I'm trying to talk to the people at home who expect me to be honest on television. That's always been my MO. Like I say, I don't think I'm right all the time, and I've made mistakes. But I never went on TV or radio and say, I'm trying to get clicks or hot takes, plain and simple.
Have you been hurt by the fractured friendship?
Yes, it bothers me. It did a long time ago. Because I remember the time it was so funny. I actually said it, and he called me on the air and went ballistic, and we haven't talked since that night. And I was actually doing a radio show in Chicago with Waddle and Sylvie, who I always do their show because they're great dudes. And I said what I said, and then I saw his number pop up during a commercial break, and he went. There was a lot of MFs, and we have not talked since that night. And I think it's probably been close to 10 years now. But I'm good. He's doing great. I'm doing great. But Grant, I don't think. Think about this. As long as you've been doing your job, I'm pretty sure you've had to say some bad stuff about friends, players you like. Like, I remember I had this funny thing with Kobe Bryant. You remember the night he wouldn't take any shots in the game?
Yes.
I was the first person who went off on him after the game. I said, that was BS what Kobe did tonight. I did not like it. He was trying to prove a point that he didn't have any help and blah, 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 blah. I did not like it. And Phil Jackson came out and said it later too. But so I go on after the game, and Kobe starts texting me about 1, 2 in the morning after we get off the air. He's calling me every name in the book. And I'm texting him. I said, yo, man, I just didn't like what you did. You know I got a lot of love and respect for you, blah, blah, blah. And we text each other. Grant, this is true. We go back and forth for like 2 hours. He won't pick up the phone. He just MFing me. Like, yo, I can't believe you, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, man, you know I love you, but I'm going to do my job. And we go back and forth for 2 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. You know, we get off like 1:30 in the morning. So we're on from 7 to 1:30 in the morning. And then when I finally can answer the phone, text, we do this for like 3 hours. Yo, man, just pick up the phone and call me. But he's like, no, MF, SOB. And then I'll give him credit. When we finally saw each other a couple of months later, he said, hey, man, you were right and I was wrong.
That was
And
against Sacramento. By the way, that was in Sacramento. That was Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals in 2002, where he didn't take any shots in the first half.
And I was like, yo, we're good, man. You apologize. I don't hold no grudge. I didn't go behind. Like saying, I ain't never said anything bad about Michael Jordan. Like, we're not Prince William and Harry. We don't hate each other.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's doing good. I think I'm doing good. But like I say, I've never been accused of having a personal agenda against a player. Even when guys call me privately or their agent called me, I explain to them why I said what I said. And if they get mad, I say, hey, I don't mind you getting mad, but I got a job to do.
That was Charles Barkley with me a couple of months ago explaining the situation, because I led off the conversation by asking Charles what would happen if I had the power to lock both you and Michael in a room for an hour. I think this is great. And I think it's all about, like, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. I've said this before on this show and on my podcast. I think it is so sad what has happened with family dynamics, friends, best friends that have been completely severed. I'm talking about family members that have been severed due to political differences. And I've never understood that. I've never understood that. I still don't understand that. I believe what I believe in, and I respect that if you believe something differently as it relates to the political spectrum. That's what this country is founded on. That's why you have the ability to vote and be heard and protest. And I think that's beautiful. But in this case, and I am so happy that when I interviewed Charles, he said, I'm sure you've said some things that were critical of friends and of that nature. And the answer to that question is, of course I have. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to stay on the same station in the same market and have the credibility that I think I had for as long of a period as I had. And I clearly, and I this is not like get on, Grant Napier's mountaintop. I would have never been asked to fill in for Jim Rome for nearly 20 years, among other things. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm not afraid to criticize and that I let the repercussions of that go on in a natural way. In other words, I'm going to do my job. The vast majority of athletes understand that and accept that because they know that the criticism is justified. Okay? And in many cases, I'm only saying publicly what all the fans are thinking and talking about amongst themselves when I criticize a player. People always ask me, gee, what was it like to get on the plane and then get on the bus and walk into the arena with this guy or that guy after you rip them on your radio show? I think it was a very fair question. I said, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I'm doing my job, and I think I'm being fair. I think if I'm criticizing an individual, I believe the criticism is justified, just the way Charles Barkley went on a radio station in Chicago and criticized his best friend, Michael Jordan. You cannot do this job without hurting people's feelings. It is not possible. And if you do, you are a cupcake. You're just a vanilla, no bones, no backbone. You're somebody that people aren't going to gravitate towards. It's just the reality. All right, if you're going to go on the radio on a sports talk show and you're not going to be opinionated and you're not going to be willing to criticize athletes in your own community, even if you work for them, you're not going to be successful in this business. That doesn't mean you manufacture things, doesn't mean that you criticize for the sake of criticizing. You only criticize when you feel it is justified and when it is blatantly obvious. All right? If you're going to get in a brawl in a New York City nightclub and have one of your teammates on the street bragging about how you sucker punched a woman, not knowing that he was being recorded on someone's video phone, and the police are involved, and, oh, yeah, by the way, you're getting ready to play a game the next day. Oh, I'm going to criticize the hell out of you. And it is warranted and justified. If you are going to do stupid things, I'm going to criticize you. If you are going to over and over and over again not deliver in the playoffs, I'm going to criticize you. If you don't like it, there are a lot of other choices for you to go find for your sports entertainment. I'm so happy that Charles Barkley said that, and I think it's so great that they're going to get back together. I think that it's phenomenal that after 2012, guys that were inseparable, that were best friends, that were iconic figures during their playing days, Jordan, of course, number one, hopefully we'll be able to mend their issues the same way that Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas did many, many years ago on TV. It's beautiful. So when I heard that this weekend, I was so happy. I'm happy because I know Charles. I've known him for a while. I don't know Michael. But ego clearly got in the way of Michael Jordan. I think secretly, he's probably been very bothered by it. I think secretly it's probably something he regrets doing. Maybe not regrets the phone call that he made to Charles that night after the interview, but regrets the fact that he fractured the friendship. Because, when you think about it, life goes fast, and life is about your friends and your family. And when you have a friend that is like, you know what I'm talking about, like you're connected at the hip and you're inseparable, and that's a very special thing. And it's a shame that ego got in the way of this friendship. And that's Michael Jordan's ego. And I was also very happy that he talked about the Kobe story. Because I've had that happen to me, where you'll get an individual that is very upset at you, and then after a period of time, days, weeks, or months, that individual will come up to you and apologize. You know what? That's great. I respect the heck out of that. I've been very open about Olden Polonies. Coming on my radio show in Sacramento back when he was playing, just called the show on his own. He wasn't asked to come on. We didn't call him. He just called in, just like a listener would call in, and came on the show and said, hey, I'm on the show because I wanted to apologize to you. Hey, I've had to apologize to people. There's nothing wrong with apologizing. It's okay. You know what? I respect the heck out of an individual if they do apologize. What I don't like is an athlete that has to apologize for doing the same stupid things over and over and over again. I'll accept your apology, but I'm not going to accept it 5, 6, 7 times for the same thing. That's not going to happen. So I'm really happy by this. I really am. I'm really happy that this is going to happen and that they're going to play golf. And I really hope, because these are two iconic, legendary figures in this country's sports world, and it's better for them to be on the same stage. And by the same stage, I mean, it would be great to have them where we could have access to them, where they talk about this and have a friendship that is once again restored. I think it's great. I really do. I was very happy to hear that. All right, 916-779-0929. Grant Napear, Fox Sports Sacramento, back right after this.
We are Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Jackson. We're giving away life-changing cash at Jackson. Spin the super prize wheel, and you can win up to $1 million. Fridays and Saturdays, 5 to 10 p.m. Sundays, 2 to 7 p.m.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Buckle up, because we're also giving away an RV this Memorial Day. Earn entries now playing your favorite games, and be here 8 p.m. for your chance to win. Let's go.
Let's go.
You know the songs, you know the sound. Now you can hear them live at Jackson. Eagles tribute band One of These Nights is live June 13th. And our tribute series is packed with iconic rock. Journey Revisited, Skynyrd and Friends, CCR, and more.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's rock. The music and the wins are waiting at Jackson.
Jackson, 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 Jackson Rancheria.
Let's go.
Are you one of the 7% of adults in the United States who are searching for an alternative to sleeping in a bed? Then let me introduce you to Z-Cliner, the revolutionary recliner designed by FlexSteel. The Z-Cliner, meticulously engineered with restful sleep in mind, making it an ideal bed alternative. A healthy life starts with a healthy night's sleep. Z-Cliner is more than just a recliner. It's a personalized comfort experience. It features multiple power adjustments like recline, headrest, lumbar, zero gravity, reducing pressure on your body, tech integrations like charging ports for easy modern living. We know life can be messy, stressful. That's why Z-Cliner is upholstered in a moisture and stain-resistant fabric, perfect for all-day enjoyment, even homes with pets and kids. Z-Cliner, a complete sleep solution. Get started. Unmatched comfort. Zcliner.com/Dan Patrick today to find a Z-Cliner at a store near you.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. That's 800-497-8464.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
By the way, more on Victor Wembanyama and his NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. He is the first unanimous winner of this award. He received all of the first place votes. All right? There were 100 votes. He received 100 first place votes. That is the first time that's happened since the award's inception in 82, 83. Give me a call, a message at 916-779-0929. Somebody said, with all that being said, would I be open to reconciling with Doug Christie? Yeah, he's got my number. I've talked about this with Walt Gray on ABC 10 back in August, I believe, when Walt had me on the morning show. And he asked me that question. And I was very open about it. So I don't want to get into it very much, but he has my number. And I have things that I know that nobody else knows. I have knowledge that I had back on that 36-hour period of 2020 that nobody else does. Still to this day on my phone in the form of text messages between both of us. And was in boardrooms with depositions and sworn testimony that I know that you don't. And so I know pretty much everything that went on behind the scenes during that period of time. And I don't talk about it that much because I've moved on. My life has moved on. I'm happy. And life is short, so get after it. Right? Get after it. One thing in life, you can't control what others are going to say, and you can't control in life what others are going to do. It's something you'll never be able to control. You control your life and how you live your life and what you say and how you go about things. But I can't control what you're going to say or what you're going to do. That is up to you. 916-779-0929. What about the Orlando Magic going into Motown and winning game one? You know, when I look at the box score of that game and when I look at Detroit, a number one seed, and we talked about would they be whole again with the return of Cade Cunningham in the final week and a half of the season. What was surprising to me is how good of a start Orlando got off to, scoring 35 points in the first quarter. And, you know, you look at Banchero had 23 points. He had 9 rebounds. Wagner had 19. Carter had 17. Bain 17. Suggs 16. The point is that was a very well-balanced attack. But I think when you look at it, it was defense. And what did we see, Ryan, in the play-in game when they took on Charlotte? You kept on commenting on it. They completely handcuffed them. And they did the same thing to the Detroit Pistons, holding them to 40% shooting and 10 of 32 from beyond the arc. But they held them to 40% from the floor on their home court. And so they won the game with defense.
Yeah, they've 2 games in a row now just completely protected the paint. They've taken away the inside-out game. And Jalen Duren, where's Jalen Duren? You haven't seen him anywhere. He did not play well. So that's kind of the best version defensively of the Magic. That's the defensive version that we thought we were going to see for 82 games this season. And Grant, if you're Detroit, is it a one-off? Are you okay or are you worried? Because Cade Cunningham had 39 points.
Oh, you're worried. Anytime you lose a game early, I mean, you're not shaking in your boots. I mean, you still have to win 4. They've only won 1. But I'll tell you what it does do. It pretty much makes game 2 a must-win for the Detroit Pistons, agree?
Yes.
I mean, you're not going to lose 2 games on your home floor and win the series in all likelihood.
Yeah, you've got to get the split here and definitely get one while you're in Orlando.
All right, so here's the question. If Orlando makes this a really competitive series, does that save the job of the coach down there who's rumored to be on his way out?
I don't think so. No. Short of, there's been reports that even a championship might not save his job. So I think this is one last run. Let's do it. Get it.
Wow. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you look at what happened last year with Tom Thibodeau, and now with Michael Malone off the board, being the head coach now for the Tar Heels of North Carolina, I still think Tom Thibodeau is going to end up in Orlando if they make a coaching change.
Be a very nice fit, no doubt about it. But we'll see. It could be a very interesting story as we come down the stretch of the playoffs.
Could you imagine Tibbs on that team with a team that already plays defense?
I don't know.
And his stamp on it?
I don't know if I can imagine Tibbs in a city that has a beach. You think he'd use it?
Well, Orlando does not have a beach. It's in the middle of the state.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you got to. Orlando is smack in the middle of the state, so you can get to the beach on I believe it's I-4, either going east or west. You can go to Daytona, or you can go to Tampa. All right, so you can go, but the beach is not near Orlando. You'll know that. You don't need a passport. Have you ever been to Orlando?
I have. Yes.
Well, you've never been to the beach there.
I didn't. Well, you know what? They have so many man-made lakes and lagoons.
They do.
You know,
but it's not the beach.
It's not the beach. You're right. Hey, going back to the coin flip, I have an idea that I'd like to throw out there. Maybe somebody at the NBA office will hear this.
Yeah. And by the way, for the folks that are joining us late, the Kings lost the coin flip with the Jazz, meaning that they are 5th and the Jazz are 4th. Go ahead.
Hey, Adam Silver, how about the first tiebreaker being, were you fined for tanking? Yes or no? You were fined for tanking. Okay, then the team that you're tied with that was not fined for tanking gets the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the problem is every team should have been fined for tanking this year because you could have picked even the Kings at times where it made you raise your eyebrows. Maybe not to the level of Utah, but they still did it and they didn't get fined. So I disagree with you on that. I know you're being kind of cynical, but the Kings did some things this year that were right there on the cusp of being fined. They didn't do it often, and they didn't do as much as the other teams, but they still did it. Then when you take DeMar DeRozan off the floor in the fourth quarter of a close game, that's tanking.
See, but that's where I disagree. Like, if the NBA is coming, I get what you're saying, and I understand your argument there, but there's a difference between being fined and not being fined. And if you were actually found guilty by the NBA and fined for tanking, then that should be the first tiebreaker. Then it goes to a coin flip. And I'm not saying that sour grapes because the Kings didn't get the coin flip. I'm just saying it's common sense. You're not going to penalize it because they're looking to penalize now and stop the tanking going into next season. Seems like a simple thing to me.
All I know is the Kings have the best chance. All right, their greatest odds are ending up with the 6th pick or the 7th pick. And that would be on this year. All right, if we're sitting here on May 11th after the lottery, and I come on the air at 3 o'clock with you, and we're talking about the Kings being 6th or 7th in the draft, you go from 2 black eyes to 2 shut eyes because of all the blows you took during this year.
And a ton more pressure on that front office and more pressure on whoever that prospect is that's coming into Sacramento.
Correct. And by the way, that doesn't mean that player can't end up being the best player in the draft.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that player can't end up being an all-star. It doesn't mean any of that. So, yeah. Boy, that's a quick first hour. 2 hours left. What about hockey? What about the NBA playoffs? We've got it all going on. And the NFL draft on Thursday. What do you want the 49ers to do? What direction? Now you got Trent Williams back, but offensive line at their pick? What do you think? NFL draft, 72 hours away. Should be a fun day. Grant Napear, 2 hours left here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
After an accident, insurance will try to settle fast for less.
If you accept, you will regret.
So talk to the accident guys first. 877-888-GUYS.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrudes.com.
A personal question. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It's a whole lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever toilet paper leaves behind. You can make the trade of the season, switch from toilet paper, and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, hands down.
At the Y, strength means being together. Swimming, dancing, learning, lifting, or volunteering, to name a few. 175 years later, there's still no place like this place. Get involved at your Y. Learn more at ymca.org.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
I don't know if you're into mock drafts. I'm not crazy about them. But for this NFL draft, I've looked at more than I normally do. And the reason is that I want to see where most have Jeremiah Love going, because I think he is the most interesting aspect of round one. I've seen anywhere from 3 to Arizona to 7 to Washington. I don't see any way he's still on the board at number 8. I just don't see that. I think if he's available at 7, I think Washington will take him. I don't see the Giants going with him at number 5. It doesn't make sense to me from that perspective, even though they have a 5th pick and a 10th pick after the trade of Dexter Lawrence to Cincinnati. I just look at the only thing that is for sure in this draft is Fernando Mendoza going number 1. Now, I think Arvell Reese is going to go number 2 to the Jets, and almost every mock draft has him going to number 2. But after that, there's a big change, okay, where a lot of people have different opinions on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the names, Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State, all right? I've even seen some mock drafts have Caleb Downs as low as 10 to the Giants or 11 to Miami. I don't know if I see that, because I think the Giants are looking at him at number 5. But, boy, if you're a team like the Giants and you could add a Sonny Styles and a Caleb Downs, I think then all of a sudden you become a much better team defensively. Will Jeremiah Love go number 4 to Tennessee? And then where will the top receiver be on the board? If Cleveland keeps the 6th pick, will it be Cornell Tate out of Ohio State? Will they go in that direction? So Thursday is the draft, and Jeremiah Love, to me, is the most intriguing name in this draft. And Ryan, I know you're a big Notre Dame fan, and I know you watch them play a lot. I've watched him. I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to be a good NFL player. But we keep on hearing about the running back position, even though Barkley a year ago was the MVP and helped Philadelphia and really was instrumental in them winning the Super Bowl. We know about Henry with Baltimore. John Harbaugh, by the way, the new coach of the New York Giants. What do you think? Let's have some fun here. Bold prediction. Where is Jeremiah Love going on Thursday?
Tennessee.
So you think he's at number 4 to Tennessee?
Yeah, I thought Sean Salisbury put it perfectly when he said, the offensive lineman keeps him safe, but the running back makes his job easier. And I think with a young and up-and-coming quarterback, to have a good, strong back behind you like that I think is more versatile than he's getting credit for.
I agree with you on that.
It's a good pairing right there.
Yeah, I think so. When you're looking at building a team, they're going to have a new stadium that's going to open the year after next. They've got now a offensive-minded coach in Brian Dable to work as the coordinator alongside Robert Saleh as the head coach. It may not be that long for them to turn things around there if they draft well.
Yeah, very true. Hey, really quick, because we've got the first playoff game. It's going to be kicking off here in a little bit. I want to ask you a bold question. Which road team tonight in the East has a better chance of pulling upset? Is it Toronto in Cleveland, or is it Atlanta in New York?
Fabulous question. I'm going to say Toronto in Cleveland.
Me too. That's where my eyes are at as well. And it's funny looking at the odds on that. Very high on Cleveland after one game are the bookmakers. I
Is
think,
that right?
Yeah, you could on Prize Picks get 4 times. 4 times. Your wager. Well, I don't want to say wager. 4 times whatever you would put on them winning. So James Harden, yeah, he had 21, I believe, 22 last game. He's kind of the key to that thing still running. Will he continue to show up?
There's no one game means nothing in the next game to me in the NBA playoffs.
Great point.
So I don't ever put anything into that. I'm really intrigued by what is going to happen in the Minnesota-Denver game tonight because I'm already looking forward to a San Antonio-Denver series if they both win. And I think that may end up being the best series in the Western Conference playoffs this year. More so than if it were Oklahoma City and San Antonio.
It won't have as much hype, but you very well could be right in terms of the ingredients and the pedigrees and the coaches.
I think that matchups that we talk about all the time, that dictates so much where a less overall talented team can beat a more talented team. And by the way, I'm not saying that's the case with Oklahoma City and San Antonio, but I mean, look at where the standings are. OKC is the number 1 seed. San Antonio is not. But the Spurs beat them 4 out of 5 times this year. And even though you have to look at regular season matchups, was there a game the night before? Who was playing? Who wasn't? The matchups that I looked at, they were significant. And they were able to beat Oklahoma City when they were at full strength. And you can't ignore that, Ryan. You can't just say, well, that was the regular season. No. There's something to that. And matchups dictate a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of matchups, if you do get a Nuggets and Spurs matchup, I wonder, and I could go back and watch the film, but how does each team combat the other star? Because Wemby can't really guard Jokic, and Jokic can't really guard Wemby. Do you throw an Aaron Gordon at Wemby and vice versa? Who are you going to throw on Jokic if you're San Antonio? I think that makes for a very, very interesting game of chess between the coaches.
And then the real interesting aspect is tomorrow in L.A., and if the Lakers are able to go up 2-love on Houston, now the wild card in all of this is Durant.
Yes.
Will he play tomorrow? And if he doesn't play tomorrow, will he be available for games 3 and 4 in Houston?
He got some shots up today for those that are curious. And by the way, Anthony Edwards did need a knee injection as well, going back to that Minnesota series. So, Grant, I have a hard time believing that you're going to get all 5 Lakers starters in double digits like you did the other night. But what LeBron's doing with no Kevin Durant, and it's not that Durant's always showed up huge in the playoffs either. I think
true.
Sometimes he gets either a really high grade or a really low grade. There's not much in between with him in the postseason.
I'm expecting Houston to win that game. I think Ime Udoka is a really good coach. I'm expecting them to just play better and not have, as you said, LeBron and Kennard play as well as they did. I'm thinking Houston's going to win game 2 of that series.
And quite frankly, I know he almost had a triple-double. You need more from Şengün when there's no Kevin Durant. You need to go back to that brand of basketball that Houston was built around last year, right? Where you're running the hub through Şengün.
Yes.
He's built his game enough to where I think he can do a little bit more.
Did you watch any of the hockey playoffs over the weekend?
I did not.
Okay.
No, we ended up going to the A's game on Saturday.
How was that?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. Extra innings. It was warm, to say the least.
What would you say the attendance was? Not number, but percent.
I thought 85% at least.
Okay.
There's a lot of people on the grass sitting out there. But no, it was a very good time. Picked up my credential for the season. So I'll be out there a little bit more.
Was that the sack fly game, the walk-off on the sack fly after Kurtz hit the home run? Max Muncy, was that game?
We did not stay till the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you left before the end of the game.
We did leave a little bit early. Liam was getting a little bit warm.
Okay.
And, sometimes there's that tit for tat where, if we get the wifey to the ball game, then she's like, well, can we go to that store in the mall that I really wanted? So we had to get to that store. And
Yeah,
then,
you live in a life that I'm not familiar with.
yeah, a little more give and take probably
Yeah.
in this relationship than
Yeah.
yours. But then WrestleMania this weekend. Oh my gosh, what a disappointment. What a disappointment.
I watched hockey all weekend and absolutely loved it. And I'll be doing the same tonight, tomorrow night. I love watching the Buffalo comeback against Boston. The Vegas game last night against Utah was a lot of fun with Vegas down 2-1 going into the third, and they were able to win the game 4-2. They are playing very well under John Tortorella. They are now 8, if you include last night's game, 8-0-1. Okay, since Tortorella took over for Bruce Cassidy.
And you know what? If you don't have your buddy here on the show that's running the Golden Knights, maybe that coaching change never happens. George should be thanking you, right?
I hope Bruce Cassidy's not listening to this.
Yeah, that probably not be a good thing.
He'll have a job next year. He'll be coaching somewhere. He's too good of a coach.
So if I had to watch one hockey game tonight, what would it be?
Oh, boy. You're killing me. I don't know if I can answer it that way because just about all of these games, the Wild Stars game may have been the most unexpected result in terms of the score. Not that the Wild went in and won in Dallas by the score of 6-1. It's not that they won, but how they won. So that surprised me. All right, if you could only watch one game tonight, I'm going to say you want to watch Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, which has already started. That's the game I would watch.
Okay.
The second game I would watch would be Anaheim and Edmonton because I would watch Connor McDavid. I would pay to watch Connor McDavid play any night, any arena in the NHL. If I'm in that town and the Edmonton Oilers are playing, I am going to spend the money to go watch him play. And I'm not a fan of the Oilers, but I love greatness, and he's great. So I would go Philly, Pittsburgh, and then the following game I'd watch would be Anaheim and Edmonton.
All right. Anaheim, Edmonton. I'm there.
You can be there. You'll be home. You'll be able to watch that game.
Yep. From the 916, why was WWE such a disappointment? Just the amount of commercials. I'll be brief here. Way too many commercials, way too little wrestling. That's it.
Who said it was a disappointment? Because I don't follow it. Like, why was that was pretty much the...
I was disappointed.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, you had a couple of good moments. Like, this is a name you'll recognize, Brock Lesnar. He was in MMA and now WWE. He acted as if he's retiring. We'll see if that happens. But when I'm paying $30 for a subscription and you have people paying around the world for the event, don't give me an hour of commercials.
Really?
Yes, like the UFC does in between fights because they don't know how long the fight's going to go, right? So they have to shorten them if there's a 5-round fight, or they've got to increase them if it's a first-round knockout. They're giving us first-round knockout commercials between every match. It was just tough.
Too much, huh?
Too much, yes.
Okay.
Way too much. But
turn you off? I mean, it was really... Did it ruin the evening?
It didn't feel like WrestleMania.
Okay.
That's it. It didn't feel like the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's it.
But you'll still watch the next one, correct?
Of course. I'll be watching tonight. Yeah.
Oh, it's tonight. Okay.
Well, it's the follow-up show to that. But yeah, I'll be watching that.
The follow-up show. Okay.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to get you to a wrestling show sometime.
No, I don't think so.
I think I could make that happen.
I don't think so.
I'll find a way to make it happen.
All right. 916-779-0929. I don't think so.
Never say
Although
never.
I got you to watch Cool Hand Luke.
Hey, everybody that's going off about the girl in Cool Hand Luke, first off, I get it. Second off, she's like in what? 30 seconds of the movie?
Yeah.
No follow-up?
Right.
Interesting way to wash your car, by the way.
Yeah, you think? Yes. I would agree with that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is an interesting way to get your car washed. Yes. Very true.
The big guy in that movie does a really good job. I forget his name. You only hear his name like once or twice in the movie, but the leader of the prison that Luke becomes friends with,
Mm-hmm.
he does a really good job acting in that movie. Then I also thought it was really funny that
George Kennedy.
George Kennedy. Okay. Two things. I thought it was really funny that the guy that's in charge of running their, quarters, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He's like in on it. He's watching the gambling, he's watching the drinking, but what are they drinking in that? What is that beer? Is that like some really nasty looking soda? They make you want to think it's beer.
Yeah, they do, but I have no idea.
It
no
was a
idea.
weird color. Go back and watch that movie and tell me that drink didn't look weird.
Yeah. Well, I think that when you watch Shawshank Redemption, you're going to be wow. I think it will be a wow for you. 916-779-0929, talking just about everything. NBA, NHL. If you are just joining us, Victor Wembanyama, a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. He received all 100 first-place votes. And the Kings lose the coin flip with the Utah Jazz. 50-50, it comes up Jazz. So the Jazz are slotted 4th and the Kings 5th. It only matters if you don't get one of the top 4 picks because the odds are identical for picks 1 through 4. They really change, though, after that. That's the big difference between 4 or 5. All right, let's get to some phone calls here. Big Al is with us here on this Monday. Hope you had a good weekend, Al. How are you today?
I did, Mr. Napier, sir. I can't disagree with your analysis, both you guys. Houston on paper, but I like the add-on because with all his various teams, except for his stint of the greatest team of the Warriors, Durant. Otherwise, there were other times when he can just disappear. I mean, as an absolute superstar, he can disappear. So, and you did point that out. So, I'd love to see the Lakers go up 2-0. I have no here's the problem, Grant. So even if the Lakers move on, I mean, really, they don't have a prayer against OKC. They haven't the whole year. They kind of held their own against the Spurs, but and isn't that weird, Grant, that the Spurs absolutely had OKC's number in the regular season?
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Yeah. Well, here's the other deal about the Lakers. But here's the other deal. If the Lakers advance, I still, based on what I'm hearing, I can't imagine Doncic or Reeves being back, but that could change that. But I still don't think, even if those two were back, I still don't think they'd beat Oklahoma City. So I agree with you on that.
Well, he got the hidden secret sauce treatment over in Europe. I remember the days when Kobe did that.
Yeah.
And he came back faster than people thought he could. So maybe Reeves is a different issue. So, and I said, what does it matter? Because in fact, I remember when they made the trade and got rid of Vincent, they got Kennard. He said, shoot the ball. And there's a reason for that. He was great at Duke. He's been great in the NBA. That man has a stroke. It's pure.
I still don't think they're going to beat Houston.
Anyway.
I still think the Rockets are going to win this series.
Yeah, they have the young athletes. There's something about them though. We'll see. And then, I should ask you this question. I haven't heard anything from you yet. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on what happens next for Steve Kerr?
Yeah, I think he's done. I think they're going to go in a different direction. I think they are going to hit the reset. I think they're going to have a new coach next season. What about you?
And well, okay, I guess I'd add on to it. And what do you think from his point of view? Because everything I heard and they talked today, I cannot see him wanting to go back in like he did in San Antonio, being in the office, being a financials guy, build teams and stuff. He loves coaching.
Yeah,
and
no,
I just can't see
I
him go
agree
to
with that.
another team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I just think the video of him calling over Steph and Draymond saying, hey, if this is it, it's been great. Like, it's almost like he is expecting not to be back. He's had a great run. And let's face it, the Warriors their window's closed. They're done. So I could see Steve Kerr going to a different situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you, since you're a man of my industry, I wanted to get in, Grant, broadcast. Could you see Steve Kerr go into broadcasting, color commentation?
Absolutely, 100%. If he wants an easier life with less stress and less of everything, yeah, he was tremendous when he was doing it before. He and Marv Albert were a great broadcast team when they were together.
Yeah, that's the ticket I would bet on. Yeah, that's what he should do because he is really good and he's a bright guy. So anyway, Thank you very much.
All right, you take care. Appreciate it. We'll open up the phone lines for more calls if you want. You can also text the show at 916-779-0929 right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. That's 800-497-8464.
Building friendships and bonding with family. It's what people experience during a day out at Golden State Shooting Center. Only moments outside of Sacramento. Golden State Shooting Center is a favorite for those who love the sport of trap, skeet, and sporting clay target shooting. It's also where the California Youth Sport Shooting Association trains and competes. New teams are being formed, and if you've got a son or daughter in high school, they can compete for college scholarships. Learn more at goldenstateshootingcenter.com or call 916-539-8544.
If you've been waiting to buy a home, then you must be prepared to act soon for what's about to happen in the real estate market. The expected Fed rate cuts will renew the housing market demand. Buyers, like you, will flood the market. Bidding wars will happen, homes will sell quickly. You need to get your ducks in a row, and the best way to start is with an experienced broker to represent you. Village Financial's Spencer Grimmenstein is that broker. Spencer's white glove service, boutique experience, one-stop shop method makes it so easy. Spencer will navigate you through the process from start to finish. He has extensive home listings to choose from throughout Northern California. His 30-year mortgage brokering experience will get you the best rates. He also has access to private money to help you expedite getting your offer accepted and closed. And don't forget that it makes sense to call Spence. Call now to schedule a free home buying consultation. 916-805-4868. 916-805-4868 or visit Spencer's Village Financial website at vfgloans.com.
At the Y, strength means something different. It means people of all ages being together. It means you can be swishing the game-winning shot, learning to plie in first position, jabbing, crossing, and hooking a punching bag, canoeing in the lake at summer camp, donating food for your neighbors, watching your son learn about water safety in the pool. 175 years later, there's still no place like this place. Get involved at your Y. Learn more at ymca.org.
Back with you here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Hope you're doing well. We always talk about like what's wrong with sports. And first and foremost, the idiotic sports fans from coast to coast, because there are too many. All right. So I mean, like certain things that happen in the sports world, you're like, okay, I understand. I get it. But the Yankees have a pitcher by the name of Cam Schlittler, and you need to say that very carefully when you're talking about his name. And he grew up as a Red Sox fan about 40 miles from their ballpark. And last year, he was the winning pitcher in the deciding playoff series. And he talked about after the game how bad it was. And he said, quote, there's a line, I think they crossed it a little bit, talking about the fans. I'm a competitor, and I'm going to go out there and make sure I shut them down. He said, Boston fans, that's just how it is. We're aggressive back home, and we're going to try to get under people's skin. They just picked the wrong guy to do it to and the wrong team to do it to. All right? So what has happened since then? This week, those two teams are going to hook up in Boston, and it's going to be Cam Schlittler's, all right, debut at Fenway Park, where he grew up as a big fan. He said that he and his family have received death threats ahead of this game. He told the New York Post, quote, most normal fans could care less, right? It's just those diehards that have just nothing else in their lives other than baseball or sports that really care about this. And the fact that I play for the Yankees makes it worse for them. He said, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I'm not nervous about it, but it's going to be loud. They're going to probably have dudes that are my age or a little bit younger sitting right outside the visiting bullpen, yelling whatever, probably throwing stuff at me, trying to grab me. That's kind of what I expect. So I know the guys are excited for it, and I'm excited for it. How about that? Death threats. For a guy that grew up as a fan of that franchise, 40 miles away from the ballpark, who's going to make his first start, his debut in that stadium, and is receiving death threats. Listen, I know all about that robbery. I lived it. I've experienced it. I've never done anything that I'm embarrassed about to a fan of that franchise. I've never gotten into it with a fan of that franchise. I did have a Boston Sox bumper sticker on my car, but, I think that's perfectly logical.
You were bumper sticker guy?
Oh, in when I was 18 and 19 and 20, yeah, I had a Boston Sox bumper sticker on my car.
All right. Fair enough.
Why, is that a problem for you?
No. Just one bumper sticker, or were you the person?
No, I had a couple. I had the other one said, and on the 8th day, God created the New York Yankees.
Of course. Of course. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my white Subaru, by the way, with no air conditioning. So I did have that bumper sticker on there. Yes. You know that the most challenging 15 miles of road that I've ever been on was I was driving to Maine, our family vacation, where our family used to go to Maine every summer for a couple of weeks in the same location in Bridgeton, Maine, on a Hancock Pond. And we loved Maine, and it was a big part of my childhood growing up. So I was probably, I'll tell you exactly what I was. It was 1978. It was July of 78. I am a freshman, ready to go into my sophomore year in college, all right? It's July, so I'm home for summer. Yankees are 13 games out of first place. And I'm driving up I-95 from New York to Maine. And I got to go through the heart of Boston. and I hit Boston on a Friday during rush hour, and I'm in bumper to bumper traffic in my car with my bumper sticker that says Boston sucks, okay, with the Yankees 13 games out of first. That was probably the most difficult 15 miles of road that I've ever been on in my life.
Now, does that city to the north also speak in
Yes.
horn sounds? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And vile language and gestures of the fingers as well.
Yeah, what's the deal? Like, this is not, and I know this story is particularly with Boston, but we've had a lot of athletes say Boston is just a bit worse historically than other places.
Worse in what way?
The things that they say, the lines they cross when it comes to heckling.
You know, I don't like to stereotype groups of people because I think that that's one of the biggest mistakes that we do in society. I think Boston is more of a blue collar mentality town. It's more of a hardworking town. It's more of a, I guess that's the best way I can say it. I think that New York is more, it's very cosmopolitan. And you have people that are Yankees fans from all walks of life that support the team. And I think their fan base is a lot more diverse that way than the Bostonians. And so I think that has something to do with it. That's been my experience in living in the Northeast until I moved away to college and experiencing that rivalry. But we get back to the news that I reported. It's just an absolute shame that in this day and age, and I think gambling also has something to do with it. And I think that social media is obviously the biggest culprit in all of this because it's easy for anyone to be anonymous and get on social media and make a threat against someone, is it not? Right?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that's part of it. But I'm just wondering, that individual, that what goes through their mind to think that they are going to make a death threat against an athlete getting ready to pitch or perform in whatever sport they may be going to. And I just, it's just, you know.
Well, my first guess is it's not the first threat they've made.
Yeah.
You know, it's something they probably do on the regular, but unfortunately, we've heard about major leaguers having to put their families in hiding, right?
Yes.
Dan Campbell in Detroit had to sell his home because people, it's just,
hey, listen,
you got to take it more serious these days.
You know how I feel about that city and that fan base, and you know, but like I would never wish harm on anybody. I really mean this. I would never threaten somebody. I've been to many New York Yankee games in my life. I've never gotten into it with a Red Sox fan in front of me or thrown a beer on them or done anything stupid. Like I have my limitations, okay? Like at the end of the day, like you don't have to be an idiot, all right? And it's unfortunate. And you talked about this on the podcast for the last couple of years. It's impossible, is it not, to go on social media on a Monday during football season and not see the most awful brawls that are occurring in the stands of our football stadiums. It's awful. Is it not?
Particularly down at SoFi.
It's unbelievable. It's almost every single Sunday there's a brawl at the stadium in SoFi, regardless of the teams that are playing.
They're giving Vegas a run for the fight capital of the world.
Oh, my gosh. It's awful. I mean, it's you know what? It's scary.
It's because you have you have a revolving door of one-timers that are coming to that building. It's like no fear of being banned, not worried about the people in your section giving you grief. They just don't care. They're going all out. And even Sean McVay, he talked about it. About the stadium being mostly the other team's fans. That's why Kyle Shanahan wanted to play this one in Australia. And because of that, you
Sure.
have these two combustible forces with alcohol
Yes.
and other substances.
Stop right there. Alcohol. I mean, almost every one of these fights are from inebriated fans. I've witnessed that ever since I was 4 years old to now. Most every fight that I've seen are people that are hammered.
And what's sad about it is there's those that tailgate responsibly. And then there's those
Yeah.
that don't tailgate responsibly. And
Absolutely.
they get in the building and they don't care how much a drink is.
That's
They're
right.
going to keep their
It's a joke.
drunk, their high, whatever it is.
Yep.
Until they pass out or fight somebody.
Yep. Very well said. All right. Before we get to the break, let's say hello to Lynn. Lynn, welcome to the show.
Hey, Grant, how are you doing today?
Good, Lynn.
I tell you what, Grant, I watch probably more non-racing sports from Thursday to Sunday night than I did all of last year. But my sports vacation ends about 9 o'clock when I pick up my wife coming back from D.C. First off, I want to talk about Victor W. Man, that dude, I could not believe he got 100 votes, 100% for defensive player. I have never seen that. Even David Robinson, Tim Duncan didn't even get that. That is just insane how he was able to do that. And I tell you,
Hey, real quickly, you put something out on social media about the race down in Long Beach and the revenue that generated. And I can't remember what the number was, but
Yes. It was a 3-day event. That thing generates $98.7 million for the city of Long Beach.
And where do you get that information from?
Just Google and just the sources I have.
I just find it hard to believe that would generate almost $100 million. It just seems too far-fetched to me. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying I don't understand how that could possibly be.
You have 250,000 people go through the gates over the weekend on that race. In a 1.9 mile, you have hotels. I actually try to book the races this weekend. I was supposed to go down there this weekend. That was originally why my wife was off, but the tickets and the hotels were just too expensive. So I'd rather use my money instead of spending there for the excursions for my trip I'm taking over in Iceland. I just said, I'm going to watch this thing on TV because it was too expensive for me to even go down there and get the tickets for it.
So not everyone's staying at a hotel, but let's say, all right, not all 200,000 people are staying at the hotel. Some live in Southern California, right?
That is true.
Let's say that you had 100,000. Well, is that possible to have 100,000 hotel rooms? Am I crazy for even saying that?
Don't forget about Airbnbs.
Airbnbs. All right, but let's say when you looked, give me an idea. What did you see is the average cost of the hotel?
Average cost I was looking at was $250, and that was like 10, 15 miles outside Long Beach. It was pretty crazy.
Okay, well, if you had 100,000 hotel rooms times $250, that's $25 million. So that right there is $25 million. What do you think they generate in ticket sales? How much would it cost to go to a race there?
The weekend pass I was looking at was about maybe $200 for 3-week grandstand. And if I want to do a paddock pass, I had to pay another $50 if I want to go in the paddock factor. But it's crazy. I mean, IMS.
Yeah, you're right. Then it could. All right, then those numbers are adding up because that's 40 million right there. So I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big event. It's the 51st one. I mean, it's like the Monaco of the United States. It's like the Monaco GP of the United States. It's been going on for 51 years. It's pretty crazy. Talk about the Boston fans. I'm going to leave you with this. Hollywood has only done one sports movie like this called Celtic Pride. You have 2 Celtic fans kidnap the star player of the Utah Jazz in this make-believe NBA championship. I mean, that's how Hollywood looks at those fans. I mean, those fans are hardcore fans. I mean, they're not like I'm saying really bad, but those guys are hardcore fans over in Boston.
No doubt. Appreciate it, Lynn. Have a good one. Don't forget. Thank you. Don't forget, I'll be doing my Open Forum Monday show at 7 o'clock tonight over on YouTube and X on If You Don't Like That with Grant Napear. So I hope you can join me there. Yes, sir.
So let's do the math for Sac State, right? How much does the stadium hold?
20,000, but that's max, right?
Okay, 20,000. Well, you're going to pay for the entire team and their staff coming in. How many fans do you think going to make the trip, Grant? 500?
Maybe.
Okay.
Most. No more than that.
Sacramento hotel room, average price, weekend, maybe 130?
I was going to say between 100 and 150.
Okay, we'll go high, 150. Are we close to 100 million?
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah, thank you very much. On that note, we'll take a break. 916-779-0929 on Fox Sports Sacramento.
This is Kurt Bagelman. Does your business need more customers? If you said no, congratulations. If you said yes, then you need to consider advertising your products and services. People need to know you exist, and then why your business is worth considering to spend their money with. You also need to advertise to the right audience. For example, sports talk listeners have disposable income. They own homes, they're employed, and they earn six-figure incomes. And importantly, sports talk listeners listen longer, so your advertising message has more opportunity to be heard. Does your business need more customers? If the answer is yes, then give me a call to schedule a conversation. We'll discuss your objectives, talk about potential strategies, and also determine if Fox Sports Radio is a good station for you to consider. Call me, 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Injured in an accident? You need a winner in your corner. Call us, the Accident Guys.
Insurance companies hire the best, and so should you. 877-888-GUYS.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys. Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Jackson. We're giving away life-changing cash at Jackson. Spin the super prize wheel, and you can win up to $1 million. Fridays and Saturdays, 5 to 10 p.m. Sundays, 2 to 7 p.m.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Buckle up, because we're also giving away an RV this Memorial Day. Earn entries now playing your favorite games, and be here 8 p.m. for your chance to win. Let's go.
Let's go.
You know the songs, you know the sound. Now you can hear them live at Jackson. Eagles tribute band One of These Nights is live June 13th. And our tribute series is packed with iconic rock. Journey Revisited, Skynyrd and Friends, CCR, and more.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's rock. The music and the wins are waiting at Jackson.
Jackson, 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 Jackson Rancheria.
Let's go.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabroods or visit Gabroods.com. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
At the Y, strength means something different. It means people of all ages being together. It means you can be swishing the game-winning shot, learning to plie in first position, jabbing, crossing, and hooking a punching bag, canoeing in the lake at summer camp, donating food for your neighbors, watching your son learn about water safety in the pool, 175 years later, there's still no place like this place. Get involved at your Y. Learn more at ymca.org.
Always love to get fans' reactions from around stadiums. 916 said, went to SoFi twice last year. One for a Rams game, one for a Chargers game. The Rams fans were great, but the Chargers fans were a hot mess. Through things at opposing fans and massive consumption of alcohol, fan next to me passed out and vomiting made things worse. Stadium workers did not seem to care that any of that went on and did absolutely nothing to improve the fan experience. It was actually very disappointing. Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine. I've seen some pretty hideous things at football games, but it just seems for whatever reason that there are more videos of awful brawls that come out of SoFi Stadium than any other stadium in the NFL. And there's fights in other stadiums, don't get me wrong, but it just seems like it happens every single week in that stadium. And it's not just pushing and shoving, like it's heavy duty, I'm going to hurt you brawl. And I don't get it. I really don't. And I think we talk about fan violence. You very rarely see a fight at an NBA game. You really don't even see a fight that often at an NHL game. Occasionally you'll see it at an MLB game. There was a fight at Yankee Stadium the other night in the series against, I think, Kansas City that I saw. But Ryan, football, particularly in the NFL, every single Monday there are videos circulating on social media of awful fights in stadiums throughout America.
It's
less, amazing.
Yeah, there's less opportunities to attend those events, right?
Yep.
I think that's part of it. So, and
I think it's an all-day thing for a lot of people. And I think a lot of these folks that are fighting, start early in the morning with their drinking. Yeah. And whether it's a 1 o'clock game or depending on where you live, 10 a.m., 1 or the night game, whatever. It just seems to me that football, the nature of the sport and the nature of one game a week and it being like the thing to do and you plan your whole week around it with all kinds of pregame parties and everything, I think that has something to do with it. And the heavy-duty gambling that goes on NFL games.
That doesn't help, right? Because you have people that are not just talking trash about the team. They could be talking trash about a player that's not getting the other person that they're antagonizing, their fantasy points, whatever it might be. And the scary thing is you see so many of these that are in the stands towards the top of the stadium. And you know this, a lot of people out there know this. It's not exactly flat up there. It's pretty darn steep, and the reality is if you throw a punch that's strong enough to knock somebody out, you have the ability to kill somebody. Because if they hit their heads on the ground.
Hey, a fan in New England was killed a couple of years ago in a fight.
You don't think about that. Like the other thing you don't think about, Grant.
You think about it when you're in jail after being charged with manslaughter. And convicted.
A good point. A fight used to be one-on-one, mano-a-mano, right? But now so many times in these fights, you see 19 people standing around with their camera phones and then 3 or 4 people coming in and kicking the other person in the head when they don't see them coming. It's just.
I wouldn't try to break up a fight at a football game. I'd stay away.
I wouldn't take a video of it though and post it online.
No, I wouldn't either, but I'm just saying I'm not going to get involved with drunk people hurting one another. They would have no regard for my safety or my health or my life. So why would I get involved in that type of a situation?
Yeah.
Now, if it was my son or, somebody I'm with, that's different.
You've seen videos like that too, where people are just minding their business. There is no confrontation and somebody just runs up and whops somebody.
I don't understand that. Just because you're wearing a different team's jersey. That's really what it boils down to.
It was the NBA Finals. Somebody was leaving an arena. Was it the OKC arena after they?
I can't remember.
And they could not get out of the arena. They were being bullied, and people are throwing stuff at them, and they were mobbing around them. I think it was OKC, I want to say.
I'm going to say this, and I've been to a lot of away games supporting my team. There has to be a degree of common sense that you use when you go and root for your team in another stadium for football. It's the reality of the situation. And when I used to go to away New York Giants games, I went with common sense. I wasn't obnoxious. I wasn't like looking for trouble. I wasn't one of these obnoxious fans that I see all the time. When I used to go to home Giants games, there would be obnoxious fans from other teams where if their team got the lead, they would pour it on. And I'm not saying it makes it right, and I'm not justifying it, but they became obnoxious, and their act at the stadium made it where it was over the top. And I'm not saying it justified them getting thrown things on them or getting hit, but the reality is you need to go in there with common sense. And there are fans that don't.
You're spot on, by the way. I went to Eli Manning's first game in San Diego after he forced his way out of San Diego. And I was sitting in the upper deck, and we had two firefighters that were sitting in front of us from New York. And they made a trip every single season, one road trip. And they were both part of 9/11, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And a San Diego fan.
How'd you know that, by the way?
Because we found out after starting to talk to them. Because what happened was a fan was antagonizing him. Basically, anytime the Chargers did something well, I think the team flags are a major problem. Like, because people will use them, they'll put them over people's heads.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not cool. Like, I think maybe they should take the flags out of the stands. Just my take, especially in the upper deck. But anyways, they kept putting the flag over the firefighters, and then eventually it escalated, and they did something that was about as bad as you can do. And so what happens? There's a fight, and we're thinking they're going to throw these guys out for defending themselves, because they really were assaulted. And so they come down. Chargers did the right thing. We let everybody know what happened as Chargers fans, because these knuckleheads weren't there to see the game. They were just there to, whatever. And they ended up upgrading those guys' seats. And so they were basically on the field for the rest of the game, which was a very well done thing by the Chargers. But I guess what I'm getting at is this doesn't discriminate. You can be a hero in the upper deck, and some of these drunk idiots do not care, right?
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And it is, you know what else is sad, Ryan? It appears to me, and maybe it's not, maybe it's the advent of camera phones, and so everything is now documented, where in the past things weren't documented because you didn't have any way of recording it. But it seems to me it's becoming more of a problem with each passing year, not less of a problem.
I look, there weren't really camera phones when that happened, and it was not as bad. I used to go to Chargers games, and I can only speak to the Chargers games. When I was in San Diego all the time, you didn't see what you see now. Ever.
You know that Philadelphia, at the Vet, they had a jail in the stadium.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. You would put in jail in the stadium in Philadelphia.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
See, but that's gonna make knuckleheads say, "Man, I want to get arrested and say I was in the jail in the stadium." So that's my grandkids.
Oh my gosh! Only in Philadelphia, huh?
Only in Philly. They throw batteries at Shawn Michaels, hot dogs at Santa. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. All right. Again, if you want to get in on the show, you can do so at 916-779-0929. Wow, I can't believe we are through 2 hours. What a quick moving show. Grant's Rant is coming up next. Your phone calls, your text messages, update you on the NBA games as well. Cleveland with a lead of 42-36 over Toronto. Update you on some baseball, NHL. All right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
Are you or do you know a veteran or a family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? If so, go now to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or someone you know to receive one with installation being donated by our neighbors at DAS Mechanical. We all know this past year has been tough for some in our community. Nick Delancey and his DAS family want to give back, and they're excited to give back, just like this, to help out a veteran or family in need. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. That's dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out the short form. DAS Mechanical, family owned and proudly serving our community for years. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Bengals had a clear plan in mind this offseason. Fix the defensive line and do it now. By sending the 10th overall pick to the Giants for Dexter Lawrence, Cincinnati landed one of the premier interior defenders in football. It's a move that immediately raises the floor of a unit that was on the floor. Lawrence is not a projection. He's a proven talent. He lives in the opposition's backfield. He's physical, capable of clearing rushing lanes for outside pass rushers. That's the appeal. The concern is everything else that comes with it. He arrives with a massive contract, and paired with deals for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, the Bengals are now committing an immense amount of cap for just 4 players. Lawrence will make this team better immediately, but process matters. A top 10 pick offers cost control, flexibility, and the chance to build youthful depth. And for a team that's not just one player away, that's a gamble that extends well beyond the defensive line. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Personal question. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It's a whole lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever toilet paper leaves behind. You can make the trade of the season, switch from toilet paper, and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals, but Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that goes above and beyond to help you keep more of what matters. No hunting, no hassle, just confidence that your coverage customized with savings in mind. Start your quote at Liberty Mutual.
Tell your friends.
Grant's back.
Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
All right, Ryan, what do you have for me?
All right, Napes. First option is, the about it. It's this week. I don't think I need a timer that's on ESPN that is counting down the hours, minutes, and seconds until the draft starts.
Agree.
Football is great. That's too much. Second thing, I don't know if you've found this very disturbing, but the hot dog is now being marketed as something called a glitzy. A glitzy, Grant. I mean, they're acting like they recreated the wheel. It's a hot dog in a bun, and all these different ballparks are coming out with the wildest way they can give you a glizzy. What are we doing? And last but not least, I'm not sure if you have a friend like this, but the guy that's the humble bragger, where he wants to brag, but he slips it into a statement where he's trying to be humble. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I just had to go, pick up the cashier's check for my new car. You know what
Right.
The humble bragger?
Yeah.
Just brag.
Okay, well, I've got a wild card for you. Can I use my wild card?
Do it.
All right. So I don't know if you watched game 1 of the Spurs and the Blazers with the color coordinated fans wearing Spurs shirts, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it's different, but you know what? At least everyone got shirts, and people generally like having the shirts when they go to a playoff game that's draped on the back of your chair when you walk in. Okay. Well, in games 3 and 4 that will be coming up in Portland later this week, there will be no T-shirts. There is a new owner of the Portland Trailblazers, Tom Dundon, a Texas billionaire. He also owns the Carolina Hurricanes of the NHL. All right. According to representatives from the Blazers, they're doing, quote, something else for their fans. Something else they did not do. They are the only team in the NBA that did not allow their two-way players, Caleb Love, Chris Youngblood, and Jason Kent, all right, to travel with the team, to be with their team in the games in San Antonio. Again, the two-way players from the other 7 playoff teams traveled to the game. And you ready for this? According to Sports Illustrated, the Blazers are also cracking down on extra hotel costs. That Blazers staff members were seen in the lobby of the hotel because they'd been asked to check out of their rooms to avoid any late checkout fees. That's right. So let me explain to you what happens when you go on the road. If the game is at 7 or 7:30, you get a late checkout. Very often, teams are charged a half daily rate. So if the room costs $200, you're getting charged $100 to stay in the room until 5 or 5:30. Okay? That's generally how it works. You're asking your staff members to check out of the hotel at noon? What are you going to do for the rest of the day? Just going to hang out in the lobby? And I also read a report that they are thinking of putting non-coaches and non-players in budget hotels next year when they travel. That's right, a budget hotel. Now, I've always said this. In the years that I did the Sacramento Kings games, I was blessed to stay in 5-star hotels. But I always said, based on how the Kings played for most of the years that I announced their games, we should have been staying in Motel 6 type hotels. Sorry if you work for Motel 6. I'm just using that as an example, comparing that to the Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton. All right? You understand the reference I'm trying to make here. I'm not slamming your product. I'm just calling it the way it is. You're going to have your staff members at a playoff game checking out of their hotel at noon to avoid the extra charges. This is the freaking NBA, right? This owner is a billionaire, yes? And he bought the team for, I believe the price tag was roughly $4.25 billion. Are you freaking kidding me? You know what else I heard? This is hard to believe, and I can't imagine that the NBA would allow this. They are thinking of simulcasting their games next year. You know what that means? That means that there would be announcers that are unemployed because they would no longer be needed. That's right. How about that? Simulcasting. Do you know what he did when he bought the Carolina Hurricanes? He got rid of radio. No more local radio for the playoff Carolina Hurricanes. That's right. The new owner is asking the broadcasters that normally stay at the team hotel to stay in basically 2- and 3-star hotels and cut the Carolina Hurricane radio and now on simulcast. I can't imagine Adam Silver in the NBA allowing that to happen in the NBA. But, give me a freaking break. Seriously? You're a billionaire and you're having your employees check out of the darn hotel at noon to save on the hotel cost? Really? You can't make this stuff up. That is unbelievable. Seriously. Unfreaking believable. I can't even imagine. I really can't. But that is what's going on in Portland. Welcome, Blazers fans, to your new owner. Maybe it doesn't affect you, but it's going to make for a lot of unhappy campers. And the fact that you have players that played for your team during the year and you're not allowing them to travel to the playoff games on the road, that's despicable. It's unprofessional, it's uncalled for, and it is going to divide the locker room, and it's going to make the players very unhappy. Not a good way to run your franchise. Not a good way at all. And that's my rant for today.
First off, I can't believe I forgot that. So great job by you. Second off, a couple of unconfirmed reports that per diem will be IOUs. The Gatorade machines in the locker rooms will require.
What do you
coins.
mean that let me back up. What do you mean that the per diems will be IOUs?
Trying to make you laugh here.
Oh, okay. I was just, you didn't make me laugh. You made me go, what? What?
That players are going to have to mix their own Gatorade on the road, public transit to the games. You can't do this if you're the owner. Right? If you have that much money to buy a professional franchise, and I get you want to run an efficient business.
What are they doing with the Gatorade again?
I'm joking.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
You got to mix your own Gatorade. They're going to get the powder to save the.
All right. So what's fact and what's fiction? Because I can't sometimes
none of it.
your
I'm
sense of humor.
Yeah, no, none of it's fact. I said unconfirmed source. Anytime you hear unconfirmed source from me, that means I'm joking.
Don't confuse me. All right. Don't confuse me. But don't you think it's absurd?
Yes.
That what they did with the Hurricanes broadcast and then
that's awful.
And checking out of the hotel at noon when you're there with an NBA team getting ready for games. Come on.
I don't see how simulcasting benefits the franchise.
It doesn't. It doesn't benefit the fans.
Well, no, I mean, just even from a financial standpoint, because if you're simulcasting the game directly from the arena fee, you're not selling your rights to the local market.
I don't know what the market's like in Carolina but it would save on travel cost. It would save on employee cost. You don't have to pay your broadcasters. I mean, I don't have the dollars and cents. I don't have the numbers in front of me to tell you how much it would save or how much it would cost. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad look if he starts cutting other stuff, because at that point, the NBA is going to step in, because there is the Players Association will probably step in. There is a standard there that needs to be met.
Anyway, so I picked that as a wild card. I hope you're okay with that.
That was perfect. I had screenshotted the story earlier today and I forgot about it.
What's the hot dog story again? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so the cool thing to call hot dogs now is glitzies. Yeah.
Glitzies.
Glitzies. Yeah, it's a hot dog. It's just a hot dog. It makes no sense.
Okay.
It's like the trendy thing. Like,
and where's this being sold at?
All over the place.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Just wait till it comes to
What's
a
the cost of it, generally speaking? Do you have any idea?
No, because I have not partaked in one, but I'll get you some more information on them.
All right. How's the food at when you go to the A's games?
You know, my son had the chicken tenders plate.
Yeah.
It was big and it looked good. We did not eat. $15. Not bad. Soda. So a soda in that, $24.
Excuse me?
What?
Oh, the soda was how much?
The soda and the chicken
soda
tenders
was $24.
$24. Yeah.
Whoa. So how much did the soda cost? $9?
I think it was right around that range.
That's
like
absurd.
$7 or $9.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Seriously. Give me a freaking break.
I mean, granted, it's not that ridiculous if you're paying $16, $18, $20 for a beer. I mean, it makes sense.
Again, it's absurd.
Water's $5, $6, $7. Parking.
Oh, wait. So if you take your family to the game, how much are you spending? Ballpark figure, no pun intended.
Okay. So if
baseball now.
We're
talking baseball.
I know. I'm doing it right now. So your parking's $30. Let's assume your tickets are $200. That's all four of them, $200. Everybody eats, which means they get an entree and a drink. You're looking at about $350.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous. Really is. It's ridiculous. I don't know why anyone would go to a game. I really mean that. I don't know why anyone would go to a game. I would never spend that. No way in the world. For a regular season baseball game? Come on. No chance. I'm just telling you me. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
I'm with you. I hear it. A football game, okay, I guess. I mean,
football game to me is a lot different.
For sure.
Football game is completely different.
What about basketball then? Is it kind of in the middle?
For a regular season game, I think a lot depends. And again, this is the problem with load management. You know, if you have a chance to watch Michael Jordan when he was playing, I can justify it, right? Like if you're getting a chance to watch Kobe or LeBron, but the good news is those guys always generally play. But I mean, I've paid a lot to go to premium games before, but for just a basic game, now if you're like Dorian and you're going to New York because you're a big Kings fan and you want to see a game at Madison Square Garden, again, that's special. That's a little bit different, right?
Yeah. That's way different. Yeah, for sure. I this is where I have a problem. And I said it before.
Yep.
With the Oakland Coliseum, $40 to $50 to park. That bugs me. And luckily my parking's paid for by the Kings when I go to Kings games, but before that, my parking was $20, $25. I've got a massive problem paying $30 to park at an A's game in West Sacramento. $30 is way too much.
You think?
And it's the only option. So it's not a Sacramento A's or thing. They have always charged so much for their parking, and that's just a lot of money, Grant. It's a lot.
It's ridiculous. What are your other? So can you park in the downtown garages and walk over? Do you have any idea what that would cost?
Yeah, $25. We always used to park at the garage that's right across from basically the main side entrance to Doco. $25 every single time. $25. And so when you go to West Sac for the A's, it's just like, what are you? You're almost better off Ubering or lifting to the game if you live in Elk Grove or you live somewhere near. If you're John Finch, ride your bike. They'd probably
ride your bike.
Charge you $15 to lock that.
You got
bike
a place
up,
to lock it up there?
I don't know. They probably charge for it.
Yeah.
I mean, do your business, but that's just there's knowing what you're gonna pay, right? And then obscene. Like when I went to a Republic game,
a
couple weeks ago, $15, totally fair. Down for 15 at Cal Expo.
Yep.
You know, it's just 30. That's nutty.
I'm with you. Brutal. You like going to the Republic games, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
All right.
You know,
it was hot though at the game you were at on Saturday, wasn't it?
It was hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
baseball,
very
the
hot
A's game hot
during the day. And granted, it was only high 70s. Wait till the summer comes around.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be even worse. But
hey, what do you think when you're at the game and there's an ABS challenge? What's it like when you're at the game?
I did not see one.
Okay.
Well, I was at the game Saturday, but I've seen them at the River Cats game. Thought it was quick, simple, easy.
Okay. They
put it up on the stadium main scoreboard so you can see it as well.
Okay. It's to me so interesting to see when it's used and how it's used, and like different teams and their philosophies now of using them as opposed not to using them, and do you save them and all of that. So I think as the season goes on, it will become more managed and it will change a little bit. That's just from me in watching early games. Because you only get two, and if you're wrong, you lose them.
But if you're right, they're unlimited.
Yes, they're unlimited. Correct. Yeah.
You better be right. And these umps, I think it's the other side of the coin. Everybody's saying the umps are getting exposed. I think they're getting a lot of respect, not maybe verbally and online, but when you see pitches that were 0.1 of an inch outside the box and the ump got it right, dang. That's pretty darn good.
All right, said this from the 916. I've been an A's fan since 1969, my first game, and I haven't been to a game in Sacramento, and I won't because prices are stupidly high. Thanks, that's Craig. 209, park in the old Sac garage and walk across the bridge, $15. This from the 209. One good thing about Oracle Park, when we go to Giants games, we bring in our own food and drinks. I've seen people bring whole pizzas into the park and their own sodas. I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that, no.
Yeah. Wow. I will tell you that we used to always bring our own food into the football games in New York. I don't ever recall, other than early on in the 60s, coming out of Sunday school, where my dad would give me and my brother 75 cents to spend at the game. And that's the truth. But after that, we always used to bring our own lunch. Always. Every single time we'd bring our own food in a paper bag into the stadium, and it was perfectly allowed.
Well, I mean, now you have to, in many stadiums, have clear bags if you want to bring anything into the game.
It's a whole different world.
It's, the Republic allows you to bring a sealed water bottle or an empty water container.
Okay.
I do know that, but the A's, I don't think you can bring anything in. And trust me, I was looking because they don't sell coffee inside of the stadium, and the other half lives on coffee.
Said parking is a scam, or invest in electric scooters. It's kind of hard to take your family on an electric scooter to a game.
It's just, you know what? It's don't take advantage of me. I understand I'm going to pay a premium to park at an event, right?
Yep.
But that's just like, dude, it's a gravel and dirt lot.
Yeah.
$30.
Unbelievable. All right. With that note, we'll come back. We'll open up the phone lines. What about going to a baseball game in Sacramento? Where are you at on that? Have you been? If you haven't been, is it because of cost or is it another reason? I'm just curious. As the A's are on the road to open up a series in Seattle, the A's currently tied at the top of the division with the Texas Rangers. All right, NBA. We'll go over the scores, some of the matchups when we come back right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrude's does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrude's, expert, 5-star service, and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrudes.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Don't forget, coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, I'll be on YouTube and X with my Open Forum Monday show, if you don't like that. The first hour of today's show will be replayed at 6 o'clock. So if you tuned in a little late, no problem. Cavaliers are up at the break, 54-48 over Toronto. The Knicks are off to a quick start in Atlanta, 17-9. One thing about that Cleveland-Toronto game, the Raptors only scored 19 points in the first quarter. They had 29 in the second quarter, but they got off to a very slow start tonight with only 19 in the first quarter. All right, hockey going on. A couple of games in progress right now. Scoreless halfway through period number 2 in Pittsburgh with the Flyers and the Penguins. Carolina leading Ottawa 1-0 at the end of one. Minnesota, Dallas, Anaheim, Edmonton coming up. That Anaheim, Edmonton is game one. The Minnesota, Dallas game is game two. But Edmonton at home, Anaheim. Leon Draisaitl, we'll see whether or not he plays. He's a big part of the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll wait for the lineups to come out. But that is your scoreboard. Of course, Major League Baseball, and I talked about this earlier with the Giants. All right? I know it's early. I know there's a lot of baseball left. I get that. But tomorrow, the Giants are at home taking on the Dodgers, who have now lost 2 in a row. The Giants are in last place, tied with Colorado. They are 6.5 back. They could have a very, very difficult hole to climb out of if they should get swept. I don't think they'll get swept, but the Dodgers have lost 2 in a row. And if the Giants have a bad week at home against the Dodgers, they won't come out of that hole. It will be too much. They're not that good. They're not good enough where they're going to make up that kind of ground on the Dodgers, and I'll even say the Padres. So I know it's early in the season. They also have to go to L.A. at the end of their next road trip. Again, the back end of their road trip for 4 games. So they're going to be seeing the Dodgers a lot coming up here. They better not have a bad 3-game set starting tomorrow in San Francisco. Meanwhile, the A's are in Seattle tonight. The Mariners are very disappointing so far, getting off to a slow start at 10 up and 13 down. They have won 2 in a row, but that series begins tonight. All right, elsewhere in baseball, the Red Sox won today over Detroit in Patriots Day. That was 8-6. Dodgers and Rockies in a little bit. Cubs are on top of the Phils, 4-0, bottom of 3. Kansas City leads Baltimore 1-0, bottom of the 3rd. The Atlanta Braves are in Washington. They lead 7-4 at the end of 6. Game has just gone to the 7th in Miami. The Marlins lead the Cardinals 4-2. Top 7 in Tampa. The Reds have a 4-1 lead, 5-1 over Tampa. And in the 8th, the Houston Astros lead Cleveland by the score of 8-2. That game, as I said, in the top of the 8th. And as we mentioned, the Giants and Dodgers will play game 1 of their series coming up tomorrow. Boy, you talk about teams and you talk about losing streaks. How about an 11-game losing streak for the Mets at 7-15? Already 8 games back of Atlanta. That is absolutely brutal. Brutal. And when you look at the NL West, Dodgers 15-6, Padres 15-7. Padres are really playing well. They've won 9 of 10. They are really playing well. 9 of 10. They're 15 up, 7 down, only a half game back of the Dodgers. Diamondbacks playing pretty well. They've won 7 of 10. They're 13-9. And the Rockies and the Giants are 9-13. So, we talked about the Giants. We talked about the A's. And Ryan, I got to tell you, through the first 20 games of the season, with that bad start that the A's had, losing all 3 to begin the season in Toronto and then losing 2 of 3 in Atlanta, they've righted the ship, and they're right where we thought they would be, and that's right around a 500 team. I got to give them credit. After that bad start, they've been able to turn things around.
Yeah, they've got an exciting offensive lineup. You just got to hope that the pitching comes around, and you've got to directly look at what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Help me out. Pick me up, Severino, right now.
Yeah, Luis Severino.
He's the one that's really got to be able to rise to that level like he was during the World Baseball Classic. You can't have any more of these bad outings because it starts there. It's funny, Jared Allen. By the way, I'm predicting the Raptors will win this basketball game.
Okay.
But Jared Allen just went running into the stands. And you know what was great? The first 4 or 5 rows were completely empty because everybody was still in the club. So he had 4 or 5 rows to basically hurdle over chairs. So it was a safe time for him going into the crowd. By the way, Robbie, excuse me, bad eyes here, on the YouTube chat, was at an A's Rangers game last week. As a matter of fact, food/drinks are crazy prices, but the parking hack is to park in the old Sac brick garage for $9 and walk across the Tower Bridge.
Yeah, I think so too. Also helps a lot with traffic at the end of the game.
Unless you're in the garage.
Yeah, but better access.
It's true.
What do you think? Yeah. Said, why doesn't hockey push their season and playoffs back a month or even two so they're not competing with the NBA and would give us another month in the summer of sports other than the MLB? Can't. You can't play hockey. It's too difficult. It wouldn't make sense. Hockey's a winner. So if you notice in some of the arenas, when you get to the Stanley Cup Finals, it affects the ice surface, even though the ice is controlled underneath the surface with everything, but you couldn't do it, and you'd lose a lot of interest. You can't have a winter sport in the summer. It would make no sense. They're fine going head-to-head with the NBA. They understand that that's just the way it is. They have their own niche. They're not worried about it. You can't change the schedule of hockey. It would never work. It would hurt the sport. You can't do it. A lot of people think the sport's too long in terms of a lot of people think the hockey season should start a little sooner and end a little sooner. But there's no way that's ever going to happen. No way. Not going to happen. Said, I am so glad you guys have the YouTube app and I am in Tahoe working and I can still catch your show. Keep up the great work, you guys. Thank you. And you also can, listen to the show on the Fox Sports KSAC app. All right. So whether you want to watch on YouTube and X, you can also check out the show wherever you are on our Fox Sports KSAC app. Easy to download, and you can take us on the go wherever you may be.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
That's right. And catch the first hour immediately after we wrap up here during the 5 o'clock hour. Begins top at 6.
I'm looking at your prize picks for tonight, man. You're already killing it.
That will win the bonus. If that comes through, nobody else is hitting a 6 pick in my group. So we'll see if that ends up working out.
You're unbelievable, man.
That's that's a little bit lucky there, but we'll see.
You're well on your way to Donovan Mitchell. He only needs 5.5 points.
And I need 2 assists from Scotty Barnes.
Yeah. I think I like your chances.
Prize Picks. Use the promo code Rhino50. $50 in free play after you play your first $5 lineup.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you're well on your way.
Yeah, all you got to do, and then follow me on Prize Picks, Rhino and Sacktown. I'll follow you back. We can copy each other's lineups. We're not making this up. This is really happening. It's on there. Go sign up.
Cavaliers lead 61-49, 2 minutes into the third. And the Knicks, how about the Hawks? Only 13 points with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. There have been a lot of low-scoring games here in these NBA playoffs.
Grant, the refs, it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
The way the game is called changes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
you have a problem with that, don't you?
I do. And I don't have a problem from watching the game, the aesthetics. I like physical basketball. I like a race to 100. But I don't like that it's so clear as day that you are opening the door to a completely different style of refereeing and letting more go. You almost, as a coach, have to gear your players up for that and prepare them for a different whistle. Make the whistle at least. Just don't make it night and day, Grant. Give me something in the middle. Give me twilight.
And, of course, we got a weather report from one of our listeners that it's about to start raining here. We are aware of that. And then the great information that it's going to rain all night. We also are accessible to the weather forecast, and we're well aware of the weather. But thank you for that, as if that is some great revelation on the weather forecast. But thank you for that. We do appreciate that. When we get out of the studio, we'll know that maybe we have to run to our vehicles or take an umbrella. You have an umbrella?
I do not. Do you?
I don't either. No.
No, I just...
No, I don't have an umbrella.
See, you
put a hat on. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't run to my vehicle, but I will get there.
No,
quickly.
you can't run to your vehicle. You can barely walk to your vehicle.
I shouldn't be telling people this. That's a really big hack. Like if you see me and know that I can't run away from you.
Yeah. Yeah. No umbrella though, right?
No umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as the electronics are covered, we're good.
So anyway, I hope that you now know that it is going to rain tonight. If you did not know that already.
I did not, actually.
Really? See, then we want to say thank you to our listener for letting you know that you may get wet going to your vehicle.
It's just not part of my daily. Okay, if my son's in school, it's part of my daily routine. Hey Siri, what's the weather today? But if he's not, I just look outside.
Have you ever looked up into the sky?
Yes. It wasn't too bad earlier. I mean, we've had many a days like this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that note, we'll come back. We'll wrap up the show, the final segment, 916-779-0929. Lots going on with the NBA, the NHL playoffs, baseball. It is that time of the year, and it was not a good day for the Sacramento Kings if you're talking about percentages as they lose the coin flip with the Jazz. Now we turn our attention to May 10th and the actual NBA lottery. Final segment, as I said, straight ahead on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Let me get personal here. Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better than that. Right, Todd? Wouldn't you say that Dude Wipes gets a whole lot better?
Much better.
Thank you. So no matter the size of your mess from top to bottom, Dudes has you covered, confidently covered. They comfortably clean up what TP leaves behind. For no more maintenance wipes, no way. Irritation, not a chance. Time to make the trade of the season and switch from toilet paper to wet, extra large Dude Wipes and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Made from 99% water and plant-sourced fibers, coming in a variety of scents and sensations like mint chill and shea butter to protect your end zone. Join the movement for cleaner movements and live in a skid-free zone. Available at Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, hands down.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number.
800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. That's 800-941-4184.
Building friendships and bonding with family. It's what people experience during a day out at Golden State Shooting Center. Only moments outside of Sacramento. Golden State Shooting Center is a favorite for those who love the sport of trap, skeet, and sporting clay target shooting. It's also where the California Youth Sport Shooting Association trains and competes. New teams are being formed, and if you've got a son or daughter in high school, they can compete for college scholarships. Learn more at goldenstateshootingcenter.com or call 916-539-8544.
Spring is here, so check your tires. When your vehicle needs the best, get Firestone Firehawks. They are built on years of racing heritage and are designed with the latest in tire technology. This month, save $100 on a set of 4 Firestone Firehawks. They provide the confidence and comfort you've come to expect from Firestone. Race into Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue, and find the set that's right for you. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Get them at Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Final segment. 916-779-0929. Sacramento is going to be 5th in terms of odds. NBA lottery. They lose a coin flip. All right. They lose a coin flip to the Utah Jazz. So we went over this, and I just had somebody else want me to clarify that. So the odds for the first 4 picks are identical, 11.5, 11.4, 11.2, and 11.0 respectively in terms of the percent of chances of getting one of those top 4 picks. Then only a 2% chance of getting the 5th pick. And then if you're the Kings, an 18.2% of getting the 6th pick. And you ready for this? A 25.5% chance of getting the 7th pick, 8.5 of 8, and only a 0.6 of 9. So those are your odds for the Kings. So if you don't get lucky and move into the top 4, in all likelihood, you're going to be taking a 6th or 7th pick in this year's draft. But don't worry, Ryan has assured us they're going to move into the top 4 this year.
I think they will.
There you go.
If you look at historically those with the same odds in the 5th position as the Kings, most have not ended up any worse than 3. So I think top 4 is what you want and where you'll be.
Yeah, that would be fine. Either of those 4 picks, I'd be fine with that. I really would.
What's this? I mean, every franchise needs one, but this one in particular, they've never had that guy. And at least with this draft, there could be that guy. There isn't the one guy, but there could be that guy.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. You got a better chance in the top 4 pick than if you get the 6th or 7th pick.
Darn right.
And in this year's draft, top 4, you're going to have to really screw it up not to get a good player. You really will. You'll have to really make a blunder. And, you got to give Scott Perry credit. His draft picks last year, particularly Max Reynaud, he hit it out of the park.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you're sitting at 4,
yep,
and of the 4 guys that we hear about the most, Peterson, DeBonsa, Acuff, and then Boozer.
See, I would put Wilson right now ahead of Acuff. But
okay,
go ahead.
Fair enough, Wilson. If you're sitting in the 4 hole and Peterson's still there, would that be the right risk to take?
You're asking me. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to speak for Scott Perry and his staff and everything else. But I take what Scott Pollard says about Kansas players, and I etch it in stone.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. I will just tell you, I don't think he will be. I think one of those teams and I would have no idea knowing the teams. I just think a team's going to roll the dice on him in the top 3.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
And then it comes down to if you end up 4, Wilson's probably going to be on the board. Boozer will be gone. DeBonce will be gone, and in all likelihood, Peterson. Then what do you do? Do you go Wilson or do you go Acuff?
I really like Acuff. I think he could be a really, really good guard in this league. He's fast. I mean, if you look at his speed right now compared to, and I'd love to ask Jerry Reynolds this question,
Yep.
his speed now compared to De'Aaron Fox's speed coming out of college, I think it's very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Body style, do you worry a little bit about can he play that game inside for a long time? TBD. But I'd probably go Acuff. You?
I don't have the expertise that a lot of people do when it comes to players in college basketball because I don't watch the game as much as others that do this for a living. So I always try to do my research and then lean on people that I trust, like an Aaron Torres, who we'll have on again before the draft, who does a great job with these things. I've been around so many players, Ryan, that have come out of the can't miss school of college basketball and then they miss, right?
Sure.
Like there are so many mistakes made and everyone thinks they're an expert. I don't come on the air and say I'm an expert. I'm not an expert. I try to educate myself, but the reality is teams with the most comprehensive scouting departments in sport get it wrong every year, right? Every year.
Every year.
So, like, I can't come on the radio and tell you, oh, you got to take this. No. I'm not like that, all right? I do stay away from red flag players, though. That much I will tell you.
Well said.
Right? And I think that people that, like, get on their high horse about players coming out of college, whether it's football, and we got the draft coming up Thursday. Ryan, there are going to be mistakes that are made this year in the top 10 picks in the NFL draft. Big mistakes. Franchise-altering mistakes. It's going to happen. It happens every year. And you ask yourself, well, how can that happen? How can a personnel department with video of every snap the player's taken, really going back to high school, college, combines, interviews, everything else, how can they get it wrong after all of that? And yet it happens every single year. Every single year. And I know because I'm a Giants fan. They have messed up more top 10 picks over the last 10 years than at any other point that I can remember. And it's why they've been so bad, because they've missed on their high draft picks over and over and over again. Look at the Chicago Bears. Look at the Chicago Bears in recent memory.
Trubisky.
They made a wild trade to get Mitchell Trubisky, right?
Yep.
Then they made a trade with the New York Giants to take Justin Fields. Both quarterbacks bombed out. And now the Bears finally got it right with Caleb Williams, and look where they're at compared to where they were. But it's been a long haul because of bad moves on draft day and then taking the wrong player.
So true. The interesting thing about the NBA compared to the NFL is 7 rounds in the NFL, NBA 2 rounds, and we focus so much attention, as you should, towards the top of the draft. But with how much talent is in college basketball and how much talent there is internationally, it's just as important to be as good at the back of the draft. And I'm talking about not even the draft, with undrafted players in summer league. And good news, Kings fans, your team has been excellent at that. And that's got to continue with Scott Perry walking the tight wire with the finances this summer.
And then when you talk about the NFL, I've been reading a lot of people that have pretty good track records of covering the draft. They think this draft, that the value you're going to get in the mid-round of this draft is as good as it's been in quite a while, where they don't think the top part of the draft is as strong as it's been in years past, but they think the value that you can get in this draft in the middle rounds could be as good as it's been in a long time, which I find to be interesting. The question is, again, when we talk about the NFL draft on Thursday, Ryan, I think this first round centers completely around Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm with you.
Because he's the guy that most, again, not all, most feel could be the best talent in this draft. But he's not a quarterback, and he's a running back, and he's going to go anywhere from 3, and most people feel will not be on the board after Washington at 7. And I'm really hoping, as a fan of the Giants, that he does not go to Washington at 7.
And speaking about the top of the draft, you now have the 5th and 10th picks.
Yes.
As a Giants fan, how do you feel about that, and where do you think they should go?
Well, I'm putting all the trust in John Harbaugh and his track record, as opposed to Joe Shane, the general manager. So I'm letting Harbaugh make the ultimate decision here. But to me, if it were me, I would go best defensive player on my board at number 5. And at number 10, if it were me, I'd go offensive lineman. I think the Giants' offensive line still needs to get significantly better. And if they don't do that, I would probably take the second wide receiver on the board to go along with Malik Neighbors.
Okay. That is a real big, and I know losing Dexter Lawrence is a big deal, figuratively and literally.
Yes.
But
he didn't play. He didn't have a good season, so keep that in mind. But yes, that is true.
To be in the Harbaugh era and have 2 first-round picks, that's huge, right?
It's huge if you take the right player. It's only huge if you draft properly. All right, it's not huge if you draft Eric Flowers at left tackle or Evan Neal at tackle, and they both turn out to be bust. Okay, it's only huge if you draft the right players.
But and if you do, doesn't it give you a quicker chance to impart your culture on what a Giants team's going to look like, or what you want it to look like?
Here's the deal. John Harbaugh made it very clear, and the message has been delivered. If you don't want to be here, you're gone. All right? You either want to be a New York Giant, and this is where you want to be, and if you don't want to be here, goodbye. Dexter Lawrence is as good as any talent on that football field based on his work over the years, and he was not happy, and the message was, okay, bye-bye. And they turned that around, and I didn't think no one really, Ryan, thought that you would get number 10 in this draft for Dexter Lawrence. As good as he is, that has opened up a lot of eyes around the NFL. He's going to be 29. He's coming off a bad year. I'm not saying he can't play anymore, but if you draft the right player at number 10 to what Harbaugh is trying to build with a young quarterback and a fairly young core, you could be on your way.
Think about this. 10 wasn't available to Max Crosby when he was on the market.
Now, that's a great point. Great point. Yeah.
Impact maker.
Yep. But again, we can talk all you want about draft picks. Draft picks are great unless you take the wrong player. There are a lot of franchises that know about that. Sacramento Kings being near the top of the list, from the Jimmer Fredette to Nick Stauskas. I'm not going in the right order, but, Fredette, Stauskas, right? Marvin Bagley. I mean, we can go Thomas Robinson, right?
Brutal. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. Quincy Doobie. I can go on and on. I remember Jay Billis coming on my radio show raving about Quincy Doobie, raving about him. Guy was a bust. Even a guy that covers college basketball for a living who got it wrong, right? Everyone was wrong about Thomas Robinson. If you go back and just look at draft day grades for the Sacramento Kings in the Thomas Robinson draft, the same draft that Damian Lillard was available, the Kings got A's and A pluses across the board for drafting Thomas Robinson. All these so-called experts bust. I don't pay attention to that.
And you know what?
Stuff.
Almost all these players, and I know we're up against it, is what Jerry said last week. Scott Perry's looking for a starter. If you want a starter, it has to be a guy that has a position in the NBA, right? And so that's
on
immediately how you need to start looking at these 4 prospects, 5 prospects, 6, whatever it may be.
And you're going to know a lot more on May 10th because you'll know who is accessible and who's not. Like you will, if you're 6th or 7th, you can just cross off all the names we just mentioned. They're gone. They're not going to be there. So a couple more weeks, we'll know. Hey, don't forget, YouTube and X, 1 hour from now. I'm going to grab a quick bite. I'll be ready to roll. And then we'll have some fun at 7 o'clock. If you missed hour number 1 of the show, it's coming on next. Stay dry. Rain has begun in the valley. For Rhino in Sacktown, I'm Grant Napear. Thanks so much for listening to Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye now.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
If you've been waiting to buy a home, then you must be prepared to act soon for what's about to happen in the real estate market. The expected Fed rate cuts will renew the housing market demand. Buyers, like you, will flood the market. Bidding wars will happen, homes will sell quickly. You need to get your ducks in a row, and the best way to start is with an experienced broker to represent you. Village Financial's Spencer Grimmenstein is that broker. Spencer's white glove service, boutique experience, one-stop shop method makes it so easy. Spencer will navigate you through the process from start to finish. He has extensive home listings to choose from throughout Northern California. His 30-year mortgage brokering experience will get you the best rates. He also has access to private money to help you expedite getting your offer accepted and closed. And don't forget that it makes sense to call Spence. Call now to schedule a free home buying consultation. 916-805-4868. 916-805-4868. or visit Spencer's Village Financial website at bfgloans.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, You can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the